Let's talk about 5 ways that ketos changed my life. I'm Dustin. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways that keto changed my life. Please remember, this is my personal journey and not medical advice. Number 5, I no longer need allergy medicine or heartburn medication. That may seem hard to believe, but it's true. Before starting keto, I was taking a ridiculous amount of Benadryl. I was taking far more than the recommended dosage. I was taking like 4 at a time, 5 times a day. I don't recommend that. The bottle doesn't recommend that. I don't know how I stayed awake. Not too long ago, I had some kind of weird rash and I took a Benadryl and made me super drowsy. So I have no idea how I was able to take 4 at a time, 5 times a day. That is crazy to think that back before 2016, I was taking that every single day. I had a bottle at work, bottle at home. Most of the time I even had a bottle in the car. Always had Benadryl allergy medicine, within arm's reach. It was like a charging cable for your cell phone. Another thing, again, as I said, is heartburn medication. About the age of 19 or so, I started taking heartburn medication. I think it was Prevacid back then. I was having trouble eating. So I went to the doctor and said I had acid reflux, put me on the medication. At some point that ran out and then it kind of became, over the counter stuff and, just taking Tums and anything to get my hands on. And then finally they came out with that Prilosec OCT or Prilosec over the counter. So OTC or whatever it's called. Yeah, Prilosec. I was taking 1 to 2 of those a day and took those forever. So from the time I was 19, that was 1998, 1999, something like that, all the way till 2016. 2016 is when I started keto. 2017, 2018, I was keto for about a year and was able to wean myself off of a heartburn medication. Now, every once in a while when I go off plan or have more food than I should and kind of get myself indigestion, heartburn, I have to take some Tums. But nothing like I used to, having to take it every day. That was rough. I don't recommend it. Number 4, no more inflammation. I had joint pain. Fingers were stiff all the time. Fingers felt bad. I had sore knees all the time. I was taking a lot of ibuprofen just to try to make it to where I could, go up and down stairs. It's crazy to think that, a ketogenic diet did that for me. Again, this is my personal journey, and these are the results that I have found from a ketogenic lifestyle. Number 3. Now, this is the one that everyone associates with a ketogenic lifestyle, and that's weight loss. Prior to 2016, prior to us starting keto, I was big. I don't know what my biggest was. Most home scales don't really go up past like 350, 400 pounds. I had an umbilical hernia, went to get it taken care of, got to the doctor, stepped on the scale. I was over 420 pounds. Nothing will punch you in the face quite like the realization that you're 420 pounds. Obviously, I was fully aware that I was a big person. I had started buying 50-inch pants, 50-inch waist pants, and 5XL t-shirts. I owned just two 5XL t-shirts. Obviously was going to be buying more. I was only able to really find clothes on a normal basis at Kmart. Couldn't buy most clothes at Walmart that I liked. They didn't sell shirts really big enough for me because they only really go to 4X. I was starting to get into 5X, so that tells you. Started keto 2016. Since then, I've lost well over 100 pounds. Right before the pandemic, I got down to about 273. Here comes the pandemic. We get locked down. We don't go anywhere. We don't leave the house. It becomes a little easier to make exceptions and kind of slip and slide away from keto. We never fully went away from keto. We still primarily ate keto, but the exceptions of us getting fast food or whatever, ordering in and all that stuff kind of went up. And just not going anywhere, not moving around, just staying at home really takes a toll. And I gained, I don't know how much. I'm back over 300 pounds, so I'm in the process of correcting that, righting that ship. So obviously, still keto. So that brings us to number 2, food addiction. One thing I don't think people really understand about food addiction is also when you're very large. When you're over 400 pounds, you're hungry all the time. You're eating whatever. We would eat Oreos and ice cream, and we would have pizza. We had pizza all the time. A lot of mac and cheese. We'd eat a lot of Kraft mac and cheese. Now with keto, I really only eat 1, maybe 2 meals a day. and I'm not hungry. The hunger is so manageable that you wouldn't believe it. Like, I'm just not hungry most of the time. I mean, I do get hungry from time to time. When it's time to have my meal for the day, I'm ready to eat. But it really does help control the desire. I'm able to walk through a grocery store, walk down the chip aisle, walk down the cookie aisle, walk down, the pasta, the rice, and all the things that we used to live on. Walk down all those aisles, and it doesn't bother me. The cereal aisle doesn't bother me. I don't really have cravings or desire for those things. Every once in a while, we'll indulge in that kind of stuff, but it's not the same. It's really not the same as it used to be. It would be a nightly thing. I would come home with a package of Oreos or a half gallon of ice cream, and we would just basically polish it off. Stopping at Taco Bell, grab a giant bag of burritos for the family. We'd all eat those, and it was easy, but we were miserable. I was miserable. Luckily, we found keto, and I have found a way to manage the hunger, the desire to go and get all of those things that just aren't good for you anymore. And I eat basically meat, eggs, fat, some veggies sometimes, some cheese sometimes. And that's really it. And I have my coffee. Can't live without my coffee. The number one thing, mental clarity. Bet you didn't see that coming, huh? A lot of people would think, why isn't weight loss number one? Well, weight loss is one of those things that isn't such an issue once you start losing weight and you realize how you feel. We've discussed, don't need heartburn medicine, don't need allergy medicine, don't need to take ibuprofen for sore joints and sore knees and fingers that hurt and bother you. You feel good. You feel so much better. And it was one day I was sitting at the office, and it was about 2 or 3 o'clock. And if you work in an office, you probably know what I'm talking about here, is when you have that just brain fog, you're tired, you're like hungry, you're like looking around the office for some kind of sweets, something. And I had the epiphany that I didn't have any brain fog. It felt like I was living in HD. That's huge. And I knew in that moment that I would never stop living this lifestyle. You just feel better. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put it into words, but I just feel better. No pain, not hungry all the time, clear-headed. It's wonderful. Now I'm going to ask you, what makes you stay keto? Even for people who aren't keto, what brought you to this video? Are you curious about keto? Is that something that you're interested in and you're looking to see what keeps somebody keto? Are you struggling with keto? Comment down below, let me know. We'll talk about it. As always, if you found value in this video, hit like, share. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.